Hey there, Tectil here. Welcome back to another Runescape video. Today's going to be a quick money making video. I was planning on making this part of a bigger video, but I feel like this method is actually strong enough to make it on its own. So I'm just going to make it as a separate video, and it's going to be making divine charges. The only requirement for making a divine charge is level 4 divination, which basically is earned during the invention tutorial anyway, so it doesn't really have anything except for the invention as its, or unlocking invention as its requirement. Obviously, to unlock invention, you do have an implied 80 divination, smithing, and crafting, but that's going to be with any invention guide. You're going to need that. The making of divine energy is extremely easy. All you need is 20 simple parts and some divine energy, and you can craft them anywhere. For money making purposes, incandescent energy is going to be giving you the most profit per divine charge that you make, due to the fact that only 225 of them are needed to make a divine charge, as opposed to other ones that can take as many as 1,000. There is a GE limit of 25,000 divine energy per 4 hours, depending on the type. So if you're looking to grind this out, you may actually have to switch over from incandescent to a different type of divine energy so that you can keep going. It is going to slow down profits slightly due to the other energies being slightly less profitable per charge to make them. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this link in the description so that you can get up-to-date pricing. But at the current pricing, the order to buy them would be obviously the lustrous to start out with. Then just under that is going to be luminous, then lustrous, then vibrant, radiant, and lastly brilliant. I wouldn't recommend trying to do anything any less profitable than that, because you are going to be using a lot of simple parts which do cost money. So much less than that, you're going to be making very minimal profit, if any, and honestly by the time you work your way through all those, you're probably going to be at the 4-hour limit anyway, so you might as well just start over with the first energy and just start from the top again. So, only other thing you're going to be needing is the simple parts. There are 2 ways of getting these parts, in my opinion, that are going to be beneficial for you to get a decent amount of simple parts per hour, as well as at a decent cost. Those 2 items that you're going to want to be breaking down are going to be maple logs and Harlander tar. If you're just looking for straight profit numbers, depending on your junk chance, starting out, Harlander tar is going to give you a higher profit per hour due to it being faster to get those simple parts, even though it has a higher cost. At 0 junk chance reduction, that's going to be the faster way of doing it. Once you get to max junk chance reduction, the fact that junk chance reduction has a higher effect on items that have a higher initial junk chance actually makes it scale to being the maple logs being the better way of doing that. Just due to it increasing the amount of logs that you need and the significantly lower cost of the maple logs to start out with. It's about a third or fourth of the cost per per simple part to get that. Another thing to take into account though is the uncommon materials that you're going to be getting. With maple logs, you're going to have a 1% chance of getting living components for every single component that you get. And with the Harlander tar, you're going to have a 1% chance of getting a variable component. Now, it depends on which one you're looking for. Both of these are relatively slow to farm up if you are trying to get them from any other location, so it's going to be in your discretion. I personally think that living components are slightly better, so it makes me lean towards maple logs, but it's sort of up to you depending on which one you find more useful. As always, we're going to go ahead and switch over to a live clip. That way I can show you the gold per hour that I'm currently getting with this method. Hey everybody, welcome to the live section of this guide. This is going to be showing you the GP per hour that you can be making from getting these parts. Hopefully you guys were watching just as I was doing the voiceover and you already saw the process of doing this. Basically, you just have to break down the maple logs and Harlander tars, depending on which one you choose. Go ahead and buy the divine energies and make the divine charges. It's really easy. And you can see here, I kept my buy offer in just so that you could see how much it actually ended up costing. It was a total cost of about 6.7 million, 6.75 million to be precise. I did leave one energy in just so I could show that for you. And the divine charges, I did have one extra there because of the way that I did a buy offer so that I could figure out the right price to sell them at. It just kind of figured out the spacing for all the divine charges, so I knew where to sell them at. So you can go ahead and take off about 75k off of this. So it leaves me at 8.31 million. In total, that ended up being a 1.56 mil profit. But you also have to take into account that it took more than just the 3 minutes for making those divine charges. It takes a while to get these simple parts up. I do have about 5,000, or I had 5,000 before doing this guide, but it took quite a few hours to get that many. So the total profits actually are substantially less than the 1.56 million that you get in the 3 minutes that it takes to get the divine charges. In total, I had to use 2,220 simple parts, and in order to do that, I personally used Maple. It gave me the most profit. At the current prices, it was going to be about 75 GP per, and took 1 hour and 20 minutes to disassemble all those Maple logs that I had to be disassembling to get the simple parts. That leads to 1.4 million profit, and led to 1.1 mil per hour. It's pretty good profit, seeing as how all I had to do was tap disassemble, click this for an hour. It's very, very AFK. It's one of the best AFK things that I can really do, that you only have to click for like once every single minute and no risk at all. It's just disassembling parts. The other option that you do have, and I did this for a little bit, I have some Harlander tar in here. If you were to have disassembled this, which is actually the first way that I was doing it, it would have cost you 532 million to disassemble all those parts, but you would have gotten it done 20 minutes faster, which ends up leading to a 1 mil profit on all those divine charges. And since it only took about an hour, it's exactly 1 mil per hour that you're making. So by doing the Maple logs, I actually made an extra 100k in that 1 hour that I was doing this. I do want to mention that if you were to not figure out the pricing for these items, you could substantially lose a lot of your profit. Hopefully it's still going to be in my history. Yep, I did a flip right here of incandescent energies. It's 239 to 270. That was the margin. It was not the biggest margin. I've seen about 6 or 7 GP margins. And when it's that high, you actually are losing about 150k of your profit just by not checking this. In this case, it wasn't that big of a deal. I just put it in for 270. I got about half of them right away, and then waited 2 minutes and got the rest of them. So, all in all, I made myself a nice little suite. Where is it here? I made a nice little sweet 1.4 mil profit in hour and 20 minutes. Not bad. Unfortunately, I did hit the GE limit, so I had to stop doing this. And whenever I could get above the GE limit, I could keep doing this. But there's tons of other money-making guides I'm going to be revealing in the future that will show you all the other different things you can do with the rest of your time. But that's it for today. So everybody have a good day and have a wonderful adventure. This is TechTale signing off.